Welcome to Curious Goldfish, a podcast community where music and curiosity come together through interesting conversations with the music makers of our world. I'm your host, Jason English. You can find Curious Goldfish in all the major podcast and social media platforms, and of course, we have all of our content on our website, curiousgoldfish.com. Tawnted, so nice to meet you, man. I appreciate your time.
Same here.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. So we're here for a songwriters retreat called the ARI Retreat with a hodgepodge of producers, artists, songwriters, musicians. Kind of the last day. How's the week been?
It's been very hectic in a good way. I didn't know what to expect when I came here, but there's like so many artists and there's so much talent that's here, and some of the producers here are like really crazy. Like, yeah, there's some people that are up there.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So are you happy? Are you happy with the week? And then I guess did it meet any kind of certain expectations that you had? Or?
Yeah, I didn't really have any expectations, but it's been a pleasant surprise of meeting new really cool artists from like everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good.
Yeah.
And you just recently moved to Philly.
Yes.
Right? From Jersey, is that right?
Yeah, I'm originally from the Jersey Shore, but
okay.
I just moved to Philly like only a month ago.
Okay. All right. Well, we're here in almost September of 2024, and this has probably been a year for you that you might want to forget, right?
Yes.
It's been a little bit difficult, right? So I guess not to dwell on the negative, but we might as well just
get right into it.
Just go right to it, right? So physically, you've had a setback.
Yeah, I've been like, I guess disabled, if you want to call it that, the whole year. I broke my knee very badly playing basketball in February of this year, and it's just crazy to think that it was snowing when it happened, and now it's like 90 degrees out, and I still like can't walk.
Oh my gosh! And you've been pretty much laid up, right? Like,
yeah, I can now. I walk with a cane, but for the past 5 months, I've been like in the bedridden and on crutches.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm sorry about that. And then, what prompted the move to Philly?
So I was living with my now ex, and it was like right after my second surgery that I got for my knee. He randomly just broke up and left, like no explanation, just gone. And then I was just like, I need a new life. I was like, I'm about to just start over. So then I just like full sent to a new city.
Yeah.
Philly was random, just not even planned.
Okay.
It just like happened.
Yeah. Well, things happen for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Any of the music, have you really seen any music this year that sort of reflects this period yet, or is it kind of too fresh?
Yeah, I mean, it's so fresh that it's now kind of stuff that I'm working on, and it's going to be in a lot of like the next album.
Okay, is that
a revenge album?
I see the look in your eyes. That's All right.
It's like, we'll see. Yeah. Right. Yeah, I'm excited though. I feel like any strong emotion to go into songwriting with, for me at least, I like, even if it's like a bad emotion, which for me is usually what I go to music for. So a lot of it has been like frustration and anger, and some of that I think in the past has at least made some of my best music is like anger.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what is your song? Is it Unwell? Is that?
Yeah, Unwell.
And that's the one that's kind of like the Jenga.
Yeah,
thing, right?
the whole Jenga build video. Yeah. Basically, I made that song, and I was just like, I feel like the song is so good, and sometimes the hard part is like, because I'm just an independent artist, and people aren't going to know that I release music unless I like have viral moments, or it's just impossible to show people your music if it's just hard. So I had to figure out a way, and I was trying to think of how, like, a creative way to post on social media about it. And I was like, oh, well, I said Jenga, and people think that it was like a thing that I planned. But I was like, what if I just like, I YouTubed a Jenga build, and I found like an insane build, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this.
Yeah, how did you do that?
I just practiced it. It honestly took like hours the first time I did it.
So that's a real thing, huh?
Yeah, it's real.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, people think I glued it, but you can see that's not glued at the end of the I don't know.
No, it's impressive.
Yeah, so basically I like built the whole Jenga thing. It's like, it's bigger than me. And then I just like made this little TikTok and I wasn't sure anything was going to happen from it. Like, as normal, you never know. And then it just has like the first line is like, he's playing Jenga with my heart. And then so it like gives people context. And then they're like, what the hell did you build with that? At first, you can't even tell that it's Jenga.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Jenga.
And then I like flick a piece that makes you think the whole thing's going to fall, and then it stays still.
Yeah.
And I think that's the shock factor.
All right. Well, that's another example of you just talking about earlier about, emotions and feeling and things like that's your best songwriting, do you think, is, coming from places like that, the dark places?
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. So my song Start a War is my first song that I wrote out of like an angsty sort of anger. And it felt really good to write. And then people also loved it. And I was like, I'm just going to lean into this more.
Okay.
And so I've done a lot more of that type of thing, because I feel like it's almost a hip hop sound. And before that, I was like more indie.
Yeah.
So I kind of leaned into hip hop a little bit just because I'm like, this is fun.
Okay.
And it works.
Yeah, it definitely works. All right. Well, also, I guess, we just been talking the last few days, just kind of hanging out here. You've been on, probably not too uncommon, probably not as uncommon as people think, but sort of a spiritual journey with your upbringing and things like that. I guess, what are the headlines there, and how much has that sort of impacted your, your artistry and your outlook?
Yeah. I was raised a Jehovah's Witness, and a gay Jehovah's Witness, which is like not a thing that you can do. So that didn't work out. But yeah, that forms like that situation being a whole thing of pretty much like being shunned and having to like start a new life after that. After leaving that, that situation kind of forms a lot of my music, and I write a lot of music that makes it seem like it's like a angsty breakup song, but really it's about like leaving what I feel like is like a cult.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like breaking up with that instead of an actual person for most of the songs. Wow.
Okay. How old were you when you left?
I was 20, and when I was 19, I was a missionary. I was like so fully deep into.
Did you go door to door?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I went to a different country just to go door to door.
Door to door. All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I was. I did it like 70 hours a week.
Did you guys have?
70 hours a month.
Did you guys have a quota?
Yeah. Well, so there's like different like ranks. So it's not like ranks, but like, so there's something called a pioneer that you could be, and now it's been years. So I don't know if they changed it, but when I was in it, you had to make 70 hours a month of door to door, to be that rank, and that's what I was for a bit.
But did they say, okay, 70 hours translates into 250 doors, and of the 250 doors, you need to get like 5 conversions or something?
No.
Yeah.
That would be crazy if they were like, you have to. You failed. Yeah. No, it's just like, I guess the intention of going out and all those hours you had to add up yourself and record and send in. It's weird.
Well, so I talked to a fair number of musicians that have a background in, mostly the Christian church, right? Mm-hmm. Sort of non-denominational Christian, or, mainstream. I'll just call it mainstream. But there's a lot of PTSD even from that, which a lot of people don't really view as a cult. They think, oh, it's church, it's strict or whatever. But there's a lot of judgment. There's a lot of just not a lot of nuance to life. It's black and white and things like that. Yeah, and that's just in sort of the generally accepted church. So I can imagine if you came from a church that is, whatever, I'm not going to judge it, but it's a little bit more extreme, I guess. I can't imagine the trauma and the, I guess. So are you still dealing with some of that?
Yeah, I think I will forever. It's like my own family dynamic is just not ever going to be normal. Yeah. So that's probably the worst part of it. But I mean, the main thing is like growing up, you're not really allowed to have friends outside of it. So I never did. And then, so it was like all my close friends, which I had so many, and just leaving it, you just like immediately cut off pretty much. So I don't think that, Yeah, it's like imagine like a breakup, but with like every single person in your life.
Right.
I think it'll always be like a thing that affects me, but
Yeah.
I've done a lot of therapy and it's helped.
Well, good.
That's
Yeah,
why
I
I'm
think
here.
I think I was telling you that I dated someone briefly a couple years ago, and she left her family, or she left the Jehovah's Witness religion, and her family won't talk to her. And it's really just sad.
Yeah.
It's sad. So
It's just how it goes for them.
Yeah. What other inspirations do you have? I mean, if it's not heartbreak, or if it's not the spiritual upbringing, like are there other things maybe more positive that you can draw on? Or
I feel like almost all of my discography is like, I'm never like, oh, I'm happy, I should write a song about it. It's always like what you want to tell your therapist. It's just like I turn that into a song.
Yeah.
So I feel like most of the inspiration is usually like not good feelings.
Yeah.
So people might think that because my music is almost always like sad or dark, that I'm that type of person. But I feel like writing it and putting it out helps me to actually not be that person.
I mean, we haven't spent a lot of time together, but we did a little bit last night at dinner, and like we had a lot of laughs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What? So where are you at today as an artist, and where do you want to be?
Yeah, I'm fully independent. That's kind of, I mean, the goal for me was always just to make music and be able to make a living off of it, and I've been pretty much doing that for 3 years now. So it's like I try to, even though I feel like whenever you actually reach a goal, you feel like, oh, it's not enough and I need more. So I try to always sit in the vibe of like, I did reach my last goal and I need to like appreciate that instead of just feeling like not enough.
Yeah.
And like that I'm not working hard enough always. But I guess my goal, I would really love to do like a little headlining tour. So hopefully in this next year or something, I'll be able to try to do that.
Yeah.
That is definitely my next goal.
Has the physical predicament that you're in, has it allowed you more time than usual to write songs?
No.
Oh no.
Well, no, I guess you would think, because I couldn't do anything but sit down, but I was literally in like so much pain that I was like, I cannot be creative. Yeah. Cause it was like, there was like insurance issues and everything that made it so basically I should have had my first surgery like immediately, but because of insurance, it was like a month and a half. So my leg was just like stuck straight. And and it was like, I can't even describe the pain.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah. It was just like, everything was just broken and I had to just like,
oh man,
do that for a month and a half.
Yeah.
Which is why the recovery is even taking so long now, because the whole month and a half, my leg just like atrophied. So.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay. So hopefully you're on the mend and you're getting better. And
I definitely am.
Almost towards the end of 2024, I guess. Do you have a time frame for some of the new songs, and what's that process look like?
So I have this cool idea. I think it's cool. Where this next album that I'm doing is inspired by the 7 deadly sins. And so I'm releasing 7 singles, and each single is going to be like representative, or like the sin kind of inspires the song. So it's like each song is like themed away, like very lightly. It's not like super on the nose for each of the sins. But yeah, I finished all of those songs. I just released one of them.
Okay. What's that called?
It's called You're So Fake, and it's about someone that I will not say, but he's like a famous artist that just ended up being a really shitty person. And I wrote the song like a bit ago, and I was like, I don't want him to know that I wrote about him, because I don't like drama. And but yeah, it's definitely about him.
Is this someone you actually have a personal relationship with, or you just okay? So you know him personally.
Yeah.
But
enough to be treated horribly by him multiple times. Yeah.
All right, and enough to write a song about him.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting. You're so fake. So which sin does that represent?
Wrath.
So that's
the wrath. I was like angry. Yeah. I was literally like, it has to be wrath because I'm angry. I didn't think I was ever really going to put that song out, because it was like, I was literally just like so angry. It's like the song's just like, you're so fake.
Oh my gosh. All right.
But it doesn't feel angry. I feel like it's just, I don't know. I think it came out well. I appreciate the vibe.
Yeah. Okay. So that just came out.
Yeah, like
Okay.
a week or two ago.
All right. Well, so we can check that out, and then are you just gonna sprinkle the other ones?
Yeah,
out?
I'm gonna probably try to do like every 3 weeks for the first 3, and then maybe cut it down to every 2 weeks so people aren't waiting so long.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, my plan is like 7 singles, and then maybe like a few songs to just drop everything together with.
Okay.
So
okay.
So the album would be longer than 7 songs, but the singles will be 7 in a row.
Nice. All right. So I started this podcast as sort of a passion project, but I think the idea of curiosity is pretty underrated in the world. Relationships, business, whatever. So I ask everybody this, but given everything you've gone through in 2024, and given where you're at, new city and everything, what are you most curious about?
Ooh. What am I most curious about? I feel like I'm curious about everything. Like, I guess a lot of something that I've been writing about and kind of always have since I left the religion is like, I would like, when people ask me like what I believe, I just say like agnostic, which means like I'm not confident about anything. So I'm still like, I'm curious about like, what's going on.
Yeah.
Like what is actually, because I don't believe at all like spiritually the things that I believed when I was raised.
Right.
And I'm kind of like, I don't believe, I'm confident that it's not that, but I'm not confident in what it is.
Sure.
And I feel like I've been getting curious about.
Okay. That's a good answer. Well, I think the ironic thing is, and it's not just Jehovah's Witness, it's other things. There's not a lot of room for curiosity. Right?
Yeah, no. You can't ask the wrong question.
Yeah. So it's like, you probably have some pent up curiosity, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess I've been more comfortable now being unsure because of being raised thinking that I'm so sure that I understand like the whole universe, and then switching to being like, yeah, I don't actually know it all.
Well, I think it's like I'm kind of the same way, not Jehovah's Witness, but again, traditional Christianity, and I've come to the point where I think it's okay not to know, right? That's kind of what faith is, and it's like, but similarly, when I was growing up, my faith was, I was 1,000% sure that everything I was taught was, I believed it was true. But I think, I'm 50 now, and I think I'm comfortable accepting the fact that I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, so I, for what it's worth, I think that's a good space for you to be in, is like, it's okay not to know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like if like younger me was having a conversation with me now, he'd be like, oh, you're so lost and stupid.
Right.
He'd be like, how do you not know? How do you feel like you don't know and you're okay with that? But now I'm like, no, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like content in my own life. And I think that it sometimes feels ignorant when people talk about things like they know so confidently. I'm like, you don't.
No, we don't. Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah. Well, my younger me would be basically saying to the older me, "You're going to hell."
Yeah, same. Well,
it's like,
their religion didn't believe in hell, but yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, interesting. Well, Tawnted, good luck in the recovery.
Thanks.
We appreciate your music. I can't wait to hear some. But yeah, good luck in the new city, and yeah, I really appreciate your time.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.
My name is Tawnted. This song is called "Start a War." You know I'm not the one to start a war. At any time you can just run for the door. You say, I'm not your responsibility, so why you calling every time you drink too fucking heavily? Yeah. It's steadily becoming my enemy. This energy, I swear there's no remedy. I'm tired of the bullshit. You already know this. You're probably happy that I wrote this, cause you're the center of the focus. Yeah. And once again, I don't really ever wanna be your friend. I'm not gonna give you all my time to mend the breaks, the bends. You're faker than a happy end. You know I'm not the one to start a war. At any time you can just run for the door. You say, I'm not your responsibility, so why you calling every time? Yeah. I am always your go-to, but I can never go to you, 'cause you just quit and you dismiss all my shit. I'm trying to tell you that once again, I don't really ever wanna be your friend. I'm not gonna give you all my time in the minute, the breaks and the bends. You think it then a happy end. You know I'm not the one to start a war. At any time you can just run for the door. You say, I'm not your responsibility, so why you calling every time you drink too fucking heavily? Yeah, it's the nail in the coffin, not water under bridges that I'm burning. Bridges that I'm burning, yeah. It's the nail in the coffin, not water under bridges that I'm burning. Bridges that I'm burning, yeah.